When the Tour de France route was unveiled the other day, you may have noticed a new col, the Col de la Loze, that links Meribel with Courchevel. This is a new road, or newly paved road, and it's on the Grenoble to Meribel Col de la Loze stage, which takes in one other mountain climb, the Col de la Madeleine. According to the Tour de France technical director, it's unique in France because it features a series of ramps, flatter sections and more ramps over the final 6 kilometres, and it's going to be a real challenge. Now these kind of roads are fairly commonplace in Italy, at least, where I cycle quite a lot, but I agree with him, it's certainly in the French Northern Alps I've not seen a road really like this one. But then if you look at the profile, you think, well, maybe it's not too bad. Yeah, the first 8-9 kilometres are at 7, well, largely 8%, so that's an initial challenge, and it flattens out a bit. And then you see the final kilometres on this profile are marked in black with a little 20% sign. I thought, well, that's maybe just a ramp here or there, because I looked down at the percentages at the bottom and it's 11, 11.5, 11.2, 9.5. You think, well, that's fairly easy. So today I decided to go over there and ride it and find out what it's like. So the Tour de France is climbing on the Merible side, which is the hard side of the col, or harder side I should say. Now, one problem I did have, pulling into Meribel, I wasn't really sure which left turn to take. There's no big sign saying Col de la Loze, fanfare and everything like that. This is corner you take, it's the one to the outer port. And there's also a little Savoyard cross post you can see on the centre left of the picture, and that's a Timto timing beacon. I don't know if they got the equivalent at the top. And then even the climb up through Meribel towards the outer port is fairly stiff. And then you come to this little roundabout with a Col de Ski Français ESF building in front, and the actual Col de la Loze is where the white car is on the right. So you kind of turn off this roundabout on this little exit. There's no big thing indicating it's a Col de la Loze, and you take, well, this photo was taken a year ago, and you can see it's not surfaced at that point. So let's go and take a look at the ride. So here we are at the start, just above Merible, and 21 kilometres if it's open. This is the start of the piste, 661 metres of climbing. This is Meribel. There's a huge amount of work going on. We came up this valley here, first 6-7 kilometres is about 8%, so after they've done Moutiers on the Tour de France 2020, that'll certainly sort out the people who are still going. And then through Les Alous, it flattens out a bit. It's about 4-5% for about 3 kilometres before climbing to Meribel, then a very steep climb up through the village, which will certainly be difficult. Okay, let's go. And already pulling out of Meribel, there's some pretty steep ramps. You may not look it, but this slope is 16%, and come out of Meribel. So you come into Meribel and you do a left turn to the outer port, and there the road starts ramping up and it zigzags about 9%, and you could put an attack there, but I think it'll be too early given this hill. It's honestly, it's one of the worst climbs I've done in the Alps. I've only done half of it, 3 kilometres, because I've got to go all the way up to the col there via this road, and it just goes on and on and on, a bit like me. Anyway, coming out of just after the outer port, you join this new road. The tarmac was only laid this year. It's crazy. It ramps up to 20%, it ramps down to 10, ramps up to 15, then there's a little flat section and it ramps up, and then the last kilometre and a half, maybe 2 kilometres, it's been this really steep 12, 16, 20, really a place for somebody to put in an attack who's a climber, who isn't totally cooked from the riding and the cols of the day, Madeleine, etc. Okay, so we're going round this corner, and then it just keeps going up and up and up. These are the piste of Moutiers with the first snows of the autumn on them. Probably most of it will melt, but it's getting cold. We'll see if there's any snow on the col. There's a plane just taken off from the outer port down here. So this is just ridiculous. Get up to here, it's just steep, double-figured steep. You see, it snowed here yesterday, and then there's a bit of a downhill, and it doesn't look so bad up to the col, little ramp at the end. And I wonder if somebody's gone for a long one and they're tired, you know, tired here, or tiring, well, this will give people a chance to get back on. You know how these stage finishes often end up with somebody coming past you in the last couple of kilometres, and I think that could happen here. So here we go. I have to put the phone away, it's so steep. So here we are. Final part of that climb was that ramp you saw was 23%. 23%. We've made it. There's even a bar called Loze. I'm going to go down to the Courchevel and then back towards Moutiers, Merible. It's not as steep on this side. There's one or two people who've come up by car. There's not a lot of room here for the finish. Well, it's flat, it's not bad. And there's the finish line. So that's it. Col de la Loze. Col de la Loze. And there you can see Mont Blanc in the distance over there. So I'm going to put on my coat and head down. So my thoughts are, it's hard. It's a hard col. Come and do it. Come and do it from the Meribel side though. Grand Casso there, it's a big mountain, and behind it Grenoble, that's where Tignes is behind there, so that must be La Plaine des Arcs. It's Montpellier, skied that. Yeah, no Mont Blanc, been up there, haven't done the Grand Casso, and they're the glaciers of the Vanoise with their winter coat starting to thicken up, fill in the crevasses. Cool, well let's go. On the Courchevel side there's a barrier that you can go through with a bike, or with a car you just go around on the left there. Don't know what the idea of that is. And we've just come down from where that ski lift is up there a little bit further.